To touch upon, let's say, how the American government is responding briefly, and TikTok is a big thing. I don't know if you have thoughts on TikTok, because everyone's like, oh, I'm losing my ability to have TikTok, darn it. So what do you say to those American kids who feel like their freedoms are being taken away by TikTok, yet TikTok doesn't allow people to post about the Uyghur situation?
I understand TikTok is a very fun application, fun software that you can have in your phone. You can make all those interesting videos. I understand. But TikTok, what is the word for it in English? Gathering, yeah. But do you know that TikTok is an application, it's a software that can gather all the information from your phone. And TikTok is exactly the type of application where the Chinese government has been implementing to the Uyghurs in the Uyghur region, to their phones, to track their to track their information, to be able to follow, to be able to gather all the information they want to get, the electricity bill usage, whoever you're meeting, what is going on with your life, who are you texting to, what are those texts are about, even to your phone calls. And would you like that to happen to you? Maybe you said, I have nothing to hide. Why not? Of course, I have nothing to hide either. I have been constantly watched by the Chinese government for so many years. My laptop's camera turned on automatically by itself so many times. And I have nothing to hide. I do everything publicly. But do I want that to happen to me? I don't. Because privacy is something that is considered very important to me. And I believe that it might be very important to you too. What else TikToks do? You may be able to upload a dance video freely, but will you be able to talk anything you want freely? Will you be able to talk about the Uyghurs freely? The moment you talk about the Uyghurs, and if any political issue that is considered sensitive to the Chinese government, those information will be blocked. Is this something you want to happen to your account? I personally would not want my freedom of expression to be taken away. I think the US government has been doing a great job on raising awareness for the Uyghurs. Recently, the Uyghur Human Rights Policy Act was passed and was signed by the president. I really appreciate the gesture, but I also think the attention of a short period of time might work in that period of time, but the action can actually cause real result, real change is the continuously raising awareness and putting an action on it. Also, I support the more governments to join the fight, join the cause together. Having U.S. raising awareness, having the U.S. government fighting for the Uyghurs, of course it is a great thing, but one government's power might not be enough to stop the genocide that the Uyghurs are suffering from the Chinese government. And this is a time more countries, more government leaders should join the cause together and put a period to this, what is happening to the Uyghurs. I spent 18 years living in China. I really enjoyed a lot of my time spending in China because it is a beautiful country. I had my families living there. But I didn't realize that how huge of a difference my life can be after coming to the US. I didn't realize it until I had the access to the things that I never had access to when I was in China. Just a few examples. In Chinese classrooms, no matter if it was in college or it was in high school, it wasn't something common to be able to freely express your ideas. It wasn't something that was very common to express your ideas that was not what the book says. You are a perfect student if you memorized what the book told you to do. If you are a perfect student, if you memorize what the teacher told you, you're not that great of a student if you want to go out of the line. You're not that great of a student if you say opposite of what the books tell you. But in the United States, it was a very interesting experience to me, especially spending 4 years at Indiana University. It was a very different experience. In the classrooms, everyone is free to raise their hands and just question or even challenge what the professor the information that he just told you. And this wasn't something that I was exposed to when I was in China. And the same thing, in another occasion, outside of school, I had the chance to express my ideas online with journalists, just anyone on the streets, and you will not be judged or simply get arrested for what you just said or what's in your head. And if you take a look at few documentaries that were done by BBC or Vice, you will see that when those journalists went into the camp and interviewed people in the camp, they said, I didn't commit a crime. The one important phrase I remember they said was, I didn't commit any crime, but I made a mistake. I had extremist thoughts in my head, so I turned in myself. This was something, if when I was in China, it would have been made more sense to me because due to the environment that I lived in. But after coming to the US, it doesn't make sense to me anymore. How can something in your head be a crime or be considered a mistake, especially since you're not harming anyone? Why would anything in your head that is happening in your head or anything you say will make you end up being in a prison or in a re-education center? This is something that I have exposed as very different things in the United States. People have the freedom to express their opinions. As long as you're not harming anyone, you will not end up getting arrested. As long as you're not committing an official crime, then you will not end up in a prison. But in China, things are different. Having a different thought, having a different opinion can lead you to a prison. And this is exactly what happened to my father. He got arrested and sentenced to life just for having a different opinion or having too much of a thought in his head.
What can people do to support your efforts, perhaps contribute to your documentary, connect with you on social media? What's the best way for people to learn more about the Uyghur situation and connect with you?
There are so many things people can do to help. You can start supporting Uyghur-owned organizations like Shukr Foundation, and there are local Uyghur restaurants. I'm sure whichever state you are living in, there might be 1 or 2 Uyghur restaurants. You can simply just support them by visiting their restaurants, or you can help if you're a college student, if you're a professor, you can start talking about the Uyghur issue in your class, add it into your syllabus. You can also start an event that is addressing the Uyghur issue. You can also start petition. For example, UK had gathered over 100,000 signatures in a few days, and the Uyghur issue had to be discussed in the UK government. And you can do something too, no matter which country you are living in, which state you are living in. You can start a petition. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, and how old you are. You can also support the Uyghurs by donating to some NGOs, nonprofits, or or projects that are dedicated to help the Uyghurs. For instance, Uyghur Human Rights Project is a great organization that has been doing researches on how to help the Uyghurs. You can also support my documentary film. We're hoping to release this film by next February. And your attention, your support will be very necessary. You can also visit social media platforms like Uyghur Collective This platform updates Uyghur related information daily. And there's so many things you can do. You can also write to your local government officials by sending them letter or just make a phone call and express to them your concerns on the Uyghur issue. And also, please do remember, Uyghurs are not the only ones who are suffering in China. There are so many other Muslim minorities like Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, Uzbeks, and now the Mongolians inside China, the Inner Mongolians, have also been been influenced by the Chinese regime as well. So nowadays there are 6 ethnic minorities. They are no longer allowed to teach in their own language, and their passports have been being confiscated. And there's so many things you can address to your local government officials, or just address to your schools, address to your coworkers, your boss. Tell everyone what is going on, what is happening to those people, to those innocent people.